Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I went to watch Catching Fire the other day, and I know I am late, but I still did it, and I have got to say it was probably one of the most amazing things I've ever watched. Ever. Just ever. I'm still sick, I still have a stuffy nose. Summer's here in Australia, thank gosh, but it's really hot, so I have the window open at the moment, and if you hear some things, it's probably cars driving by or people mowing their lawn, even though it's like 30 something degrees. Let's get on with this review. If you don't know, Catching Fire is the second book in the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins, so it's basically the second movie to the Hunger Games, and this time they had a change in director, which I think helped made the movie a lot better. I really didn't enjoy the first movie. I felt that it was just boring. There wasn't any, like, you know, action, or just, I just felt like, I think when I was watching it with my dad, we fell asleep. That was how bored I was when I was watching it. But with Catching Fire, me and my brother were so engrossed when we were watching it. We were just glued to the screen. Everything that was happening was just bam, 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 and I loved it. I loved it so much. I didn't read the first... No, I didn't read it before I went to watch it, so the last time I read it was probably last year. Sorry, the mailman came by in the other way, but he was on the other side of the street. I've been waiting for the mailman to come to see if my books have arrived or not, but... anyways, so that's... When I went to watch the movie, I didn't have much of a memory about anything that happened in the book, which I think was good, because then I wasn't distracted by comparing it to what was happening in the novel, or thinking, you know, I preferred this part better in the novel, or this part is so much better in the movie, yada 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 yada. I would have to say that this is one of the best book to movie adaptations ever. Like, I love that they stuck to the movie probably like 95% of the time. It's not very thick, so I guess that's why they stuck to the movie. I mean, they stuck to the book quite well, but at the same time, I felt that they condensed the storyline probably to the T. Like, all those bits that you needed to know were in there. Things that, like, you probably wouldn't have wanted to know about, or it wasn't really necessary to put in, they cut those, which I think was great. Great choice, I think, by the director, I think. So that's why I really enjoyed the movie as well. The only thing I would have to complain about during their when they were condensing it is the relationships that were growing. So between Katniss and Peter, you don't really understand which way they're heading to, and then Katniss and Gale, you don't know if, you know, the romance is still there or not. The book certainly does go on a lot about Katniss and Peter's relationship throughout the journey together, and you sort of pick up on how Katniss is feeling. You understand her choices and stuff, but in the movie it was really abrupt. There were really a lot of intimate scenes, which I think sort of they tried to convey the affection between the characters, but it just looked like Katniss was using Peter most of the time. You still don't really understand most of it until the third book anyways, so I hope that they explain that a lot better in the movie, the third movie, because I am on board to watch Mockingjay now. That wasn't the best book in the series, the ending was pretty as well, but because I know that this director in Catching Fire is now going to be directing Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 apparently, I am now on board to watch it. I think the best part, or the best bit in the movie was that it was action-packed. There was, you know, not that weird, like, background music or whatever it had in the first movie, where like they were fighting each other, but there was this weird, like, really like lullaby sort of music over the top, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I wanted that full battle going on, and that's what they did in the second movie when they went into the arena. As soon as the bell or alarm sounded, they were off, and that was the moment where the intensity grew and I basically just fell in love with the movie. I don't want to say too much just in case I spoil it. I suspect that people have already watched it, but if you haven't, I recommend you do, just because I feel like you know, if you loved the book, you would love the movie. My brother said the movie was better than the book. I beg to differ just a little, just because I think books, like the book version, is always going to be better than the movie version. But just seeing it, seeing all those, like, you know, scenes, those battle scenes between the victors was great. If you like a good action movie, definitely go watch it. You know, it's not just about the romance. In fact, I think the romance doesn't take a big part in the movie. It's a lot more to do with the rebellion and just Katniss's sort of determination growing, which I really liked. I'm not going to talk about the ending, even though at the end Katniss's face of determination was great. You could tell that by the time the third movie comes by, the capital is going to get some serious ass whipping. I really liked also that the movie had a lot of humor in it. There was funny sides that I giggled to. You know, it wasn't just intense. You had moments where you could breathe and laugh. So it was good. The costumes and just the way that Jennifer Lawrence looked in the movie was absolutely beautiful. I loved the effects that they had on her dress, both the fire one and the Mockingjay one. They were absolutely beautiful, and even just like how bizarre all the capital people look, you know, from Effie. And Effie is probably one of my favorite characters. She's like, you can see that on the outside she's really shallow, but inside she's that deep, caring person that most humans are supposed to be. But once you get to the capital, you realize that they're just all these fashionistas, and they look pretty bizarre. It's like Lady Gaga, just a little toned down just a bit. And Jennifer Lawrence as an actress, she was great in the movie. That's my dad laughing if you can hear him. She was great in the movie. She stood out as a character. She made Katniss the person that Katniss is supposed to be, you know, badass, just really like down to earth, probably pretty stupid at sometimes, but you know, she's human, and that's what makes her relatable. The actor for Finnick, and I don't know his name, but I was in for a treat when I saw him. Oh my god, he's gorgeous. I think my favourite part would have to be the Mockingjay dress part, and if you haven't watched it, that is probably one reason why you should go watch it. But also when they're in the arena and they're facing all those different situations, and I'll go into more detail later on during this video so that I can warn people when to stop watching, because there'll be spoilers. But overall, I think the movie was done really well. The actors were great, and just it made me feel like I wanted to go watch the next movies because it was that good, not because I'm obligated to go watch it because I've seen 1 and 2. Because in Twilight, I went to watch New Moon, and that was the last movie I ever watched in the Twilight movie series, because New Moon was boring and I hated it, so I didn't even want to watch Eclipse or Breaking Dawn, and I haven't yet. But yeah, with Catching Fire, it's made me want to go watch Mockingjay now, even with the ending for Mockingjay. Definitely go watch it. If you've watched it, then do tell me what your favourite scene is in the comments below. If you haven't gone to watch it, tell me what you're looking forward to, or why you don't want to watch it. You know, I just want to know. Yeah. And this is probably the part when I say that spoilers will be coming up, because I'm going to be going into a little more of a discussion, just because I feel like there is a lot to talk about in this movie. And if you haven't realised, I braided my hair in honour of Katniss Everdeen. It's not the braid that she wears in the movie, but that was too hard, so I just went for a normal fishtail braid. So yes. Okay, discussion time. Like I said, my favourite part was the Mockingjay dress, like the way that just the wedding dress melted off her, and then the wings that came out was beautiful, and you could see how much Cena respected Katniss, even though he knew he probably was going to get into trouble with it. But also the arena and, you know, the clock. I think they did the clock really well. It was probably what I imagined the arena to look like. The things that the group encountered, so the poison mist, with all that the boils and like the stuff that came on, they looked so realistic. It was so freaky and pretty gross. The baboons were really scary. The tsunami was really weird. I think we only encountered a few, like, and then the blood gushing. I would have liked to seen. I don't know if it was in the book or not, because I only skimmed through it after I watched it and went home. I don't remember if they showed everything that happened in the arena, but it was pretty good. Like, the effects that they had was really good. The scenes that I probably remember from the book were the sad ones, you know, the Cena dying, Maggie dying, and just seeing it in the movies just made it even worse. Like, the way that Maggie sacrificed herself, and according to my brother, the baboons killed her, not that she walked into the poisonous mist, but I still have to check that out as well. But just seeing that in general just made me feel really sad, and, you know, you can tell that even though you can imagine it in the book, the movie has more of an impact on you, and I liked that about the movie. I feel like they chose the right actors for all the other victors. You don't really get to know much about, you know, from District 1 to like 6 or something, but the people that were in the group that Katniss was trying to help certainly do really well, especially the girl from District 7, I think, the one with all the lumber. She was just witty, sarcastic, and just really funny and humorous, and that was my dad yelling. Like I said before, those funny scenes in the movie, like when the girl's stripping and Jennifer Lawrence's face, like, that's the reason why Jennifer Lawrence is such a good actress, because she can make all these, like, you know, expressions that was just so funny. My brother cracked up laughing and people stared at him. The moment when they had to show their talents and Jennifer Lawrence did the previous game maker being hanged, I found that was a really shocking scene, but something that they did really well as well, just because, you know, you don't... My dad came in and scared me, and now I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, right, like, when they were showing what she was doing, like, if you haven't read the book yet, you would have been like, oh, what is she doing, you know, that sort of suspense, and when you see it, you would realise that she was just making a statement. Even though the Capitol was trying to, you know, bring her down, it wasn't going to work, because just her personality in general was so strong that you couldn't really contain it. I know the depiction of the game maker in the book and in the movie is a lot different. You always think that he's the enemy until you get to the end, but in the book I think he shows her a watch with the Mockingjay in it, so you sort of suspect that he's on the same side as her in the book, but in the movie you don't realise until probably the end when he goes, that's our girl, and you figure, and you can hear that sort of like respect in his voice, I guess, how he admires her. And then, well, that's the part where I realised that, because I didn't remember anything from the book, basically, that's the part when I realised that he wasn't as evil as I thought he was. The rebellion, the way that they filmed the rebellion was so sad but full of hope, and I really liked that tone that they put in there. Just when Katniss went to District 11 and when Peter was talking about Rue, and the old man did the sign, I found that scene so sad, but you could tell that there was this hope boiling everybody. That's why they did that, and the scene was done perfectly. Like, you know, you could see the viciousness of the Capitol, and then in contrast the compassion with the people around them. But when he got shot, that was probably one of the scenes that was most shocking. You didn't see his head exploding, but at the same time you could see that violence there. The movie is rated M. Well, here in Australia it's rated M, I'm pretty sure. But at the same time, they muted the violence to a little. Like, you knew that things were going to happen. The whipping you didn't really see, but you could see the, you know, the scars across Gable's back. Just that, like, I think they toned down that violence in that way, which I felt was good, because like, already I was feeling really sick about it, but I don't think I would have been able to, like, you know, just sit there and see those moments. So that was a good choice as well. I don't know what else there is to say, apart from the fact that I really did enjoy the movie. I think they did an absolutely amazing job. I probably will go back and reread it, reread the entire series before the next movie comes out. Maybe not now, maybe next year, but yeah, that probably will end my discussion. I've rambled on a bit, and I don't know if I made any sense. Oh, that was long. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!